If you are a rich, famous, high-status man, a lot of women will just let you grab them right by the pussy.
Hello again there. I just want to do a quick update on Rachel Wilson. I don't have my second chapter done yet, but I wanted to show you a little bit of insight of how she thinks when it comes to things like um, in this video on the Whatever podcast. She addresses what one of the panelists brings up about the Donald Trump grab him by the so I wanted to see what you guys think of her perception of that comment and see if you agree. So let's get into the video and see what we can figure out.
I want to know about marching for women's rights. What rights are we marching for that we don't have?
What rights are we missing exactly in this current day and age?
It's more so how we're treated in society.
Okay, tell me about that.
I have something to add to that. I remember, I think it was 2016 when Trump said, like, grab her in the something like that. That led to a women's march because he was going to be our president.
Well, really quick on that. So even if you, and I think those comments, even as somebody who voted for Trump, I disagree with those comments. I think those comments are in bad taste. However, how would this actually, somebody saying 20 years ago, some private offensive comments, as offensive as they may be, how would this actually be evidence of some sort of widespread, discrimination that women face and warranting mass nationwide protests?
So yeah, that's a good question. So it's a comment that he made in a private situation with another person there. I don't know. There may have been a couple people there, and Rachel will get into the description of what it was actually said. But the point that you're going to have a big women's march on something stupid men say when they talk to each other in private. I'm willing to bet you have brothers and you have a husband, if you're a woman, that have had these conversations with their friends in the locker room or in the workplace. These are things that stupid guys say. And yeah, there are inappropriate things that we've all said. That's not even just limited to men, but it's also women. I don't have any sisters, but I've had cousins, and I've had a mother that I've heard say some pretty horrible things about other women, and about men. And so I'm just wondering it's one of these things because Trump said something. It's the most horrible thing in the world. When we all know we say things off color all the time, every single one of us. So let's see what they have to say as to the reasoning why it was so important to have a woman's march over a stupid locker room comment.
Okay, first let's go back to the grab 'em by the pussy. Are you saying that's not simply a fact, that there's a ton of women out there who will let any rich, high-status man do whatever they want?
I don't think they were letting him, though.
No.
He said, okay, but it's not about what he did. It's about what he said. And what he said is, if you're super rich and famous, women will just let you grab them by the pussy.
Okay, so she makes a good point here. This comment was just that. It was a comment about what women will do. It's kind of like the casting couch, right? A lot of the stories about the casting couch is not a thing of it. Well, I mean, it is a manipulation because you have money in the background, right? That's the carrot, if you will, to entice a woman to be willing to get on the casting couch in the first place. I'm not saying that raping doesn't happen. That certainly does, and that's a horrible thing. But there is also selling yourself out for a movie role, and this is what Donald Trump was talking about. He was saying, "Oh, when you have a bunch of money, they'll just let you grab them." That's the comment. They'll just let you do it, because they are selling out, so to speak. Let's go on.
Yeah, why is that okay to say?
It's not.
Why is it
It's the
false?
truth.
What's
You
wrong
just-
about it? Tell me how it's wrong.
Because if someone walked up to you, walked outside right now, and someone walked up to you and said, "Oh, I'm gonna grab you by the pussy," or grabbed you
That
by the
is
pussy,
no.
is that okay?
You are equivocating. That's
See, it's
not what I
context.
said. That's not what he said. What he said was, if you are a rich, famous, high-status man, a lot of women will just let you grab them right by the pussy. How's he wrong?
It's that mindset that's
But
wrong.
how's he wrong?
That's what I'm saying. It's the mindset that is wrong, that he is thinking.
It's not a mindset,
It is
it's
a mindset.
true.
Why would
Tell me how it's not
why
true.
is that where you would?
So I don't know who the woman in the red and the white is, but she's not either. She's not understanding what Rachel's saying, or she's purposely dodging the point. And the point is Donald Trump was making a statement of the caliber of woman that comes to wherever he was. I don't even remember where he was. If it was one of his one of the Miss America things or whatever it was. And I'm not defending the action or the mindset. It's the whole situation is pretty horrible. There's big money. There's a big rich guy that's going to use his influence and money to entice women. And there's women that are willing to get close to men because of the money. And they're willing to do whatever. And some are more willing than others, obviously. So, I mean, there is a spectrum on this that's probably relevant. But what they're talking about, she's not hearing what Rachel's saying, is that it's not like the girl in the red and the white is trying to imply that it's Donald Trump that has imported this thought into men. Men have been like this forever. Men have been dumb for a long time in that regard. And I say that from a Christian standpoint because I don't believe men should treat women that way. I don't think they should use their money or their influence that way either. But on the flip side, I'm not blind to the fact that there are people out there that want to get close to people for money. I remember there was a radio show, and the host was Tom Likas. Some of you will remember that name. And he was an old fat guy at the time, and he was pretty disgusting. But he would say stuff like this: "Is like, hey, I can get anything. I can get anything I want out there." And people would call in like, "You're just a fat, disgusting slob." And he'd say, "It doesn't matter. You know why? Because I got money. That's all that matters, baby." And then he was just one of these total misogynist, for sure, male supposed role model. He's kind of like a fat, slobby Andrew Tate of today, right? Andrew Tate's got the look, and people look at him for that. But anyway, let's go on a little bit further and see what else Rachel has to say to this girl who's either unable or unwilling to listen to facts.
Would take your mind.
Tell
to, like,
me how it's not true. It's a fact of life.
No, but-
okay.
Whoa, wait, what's
It's
a fact of life?
That
million
if
women.
you that a lot of women will let any very rich, famous, high status man grab them by the pussy.
That's
what
a
if-
fact of society.
Yes, that's a fact.
Of
The fact is
society.
that women chase high status, very wealthy men and
But that
throw
also
themselves-
generalizes
Not
all
all
women.
women.
And that also
He didn't say all women.
exactly my point.
He said
Exactly my point.
a lot of women.
A lot of women.
How's he wrong?
You know,
It's a completely accurate,
I would not-
factual statement. You don't like it. You don't like how it makes you feel. You don't like how it sounds. It's icky. Fine. But is it wrong?
I just don't understand how.
She's I watch a lot of Andrew Wilson, and she's gotten some of the mannerisms that her husband does, or from a female version, I guess. So the girl in the dark hair, I don't know any of these women. The whatever podcast, I don't watch it enough to know if these are regulars or not. But again, she feels like she's making a point, and I'll just say I don't think it's most women. I think most women are just good women that are just trying to make a living or stay at home and take care of the kids. They're not worried about this fame and fortune or money. Most, probably a great majority, like in the 90 percentile, are not worried about those kind of things. Well, I will have to say though, in dating, that's a whole different story, but we won't get into that because men have to have a certain dollar value for women to be attracted to them. apparently, in today's society. And not that I'm saying that's wrong, but we won't even get into that right now. Maybe in another video.
You as a woman are okay with hearing our president saying stuff like that about
I'll tell you
women?
how.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
It's
how.
okay that he said it. It's not
Because he said it in
professional.
private. It was locker room talk between guys that happened way before he was president. And I know for a fact he's correct. There's a reason why groupies exist. There's a reason why you see girls that come on this podcast. There's a girl named Chloe comes on all the time throwing herself at SoundCloud rappers, trying to get their attention. Women throughout all of human history, tale as old as time, have thrown themselves at rich, high status men, especially if they're famous. It's just, he's correct.
So that brings up a great point. How many women were groupies in the 70s and the 80s and even now that just want to hook up with a rich guy that plays guitar or plays the drums or bass or whatever, or lead singer? There's quite a few. And I would say in that sense, that is probably more prevalent than the rich, the ultra rich at a beauty pageant making a comment backstage. At least I think that's what had happened with Trump. Both are true. I think the making a regular habit of going after rich people is a thing, but I don't think it's that big. But going to a concert and think, oh, I got to hook up with the lead singer is a more common thing. I was talking about this to somebody online who accused me of being a misogynist, or I don't know. But anyway, what I had brought up is that not every case against the man who has money is valid. There's gold diggers. I don't know how else to say it. They're just chasing the dollar, right? It's a money grab in a lot of cases. It's so prevalent that the NBA for decades now, I believe it's decades, at least one decade, have a program where when all the rookies come in, at least they used to have this, where they would sit them down with financial counselors, with groupie counselors, because every city they go to, they have women lurking all over the place trying to get a hookup. So you either have them sign non-disclosure agreements, or you be discreet, or they basically tell you, don't be messing with people that you don't know, because that's how so many NBA players have maternity suits against them from multiple women, women who are getting thousands of dollars a month for 18 years. That's a real problem. So it's not just this comment, but she makes a great point. Rachel makes a great point. It is a rampant problem, and it's a real thing. So what Trump had to say is gross. But just because it's gross, it doesn't mean it isn't true. It doesn't mean it wasn't true back then when he said it, and it doesn't mean that it's not true right now. All right, well, they get into some other things, and I haven't watched the video all the way to the end, but I just wanted to give you an update and a little insight on who Rachel Wilson is. And she speaks from common sense. She's a Christian. She gets to stay home. She does work now like this, which is, I think that's fantastic. Good for her. Good for Andrew. But I think she's spot on. There are women who are willing to sell themselves, and you can't claim that men, that they're just the bad actors by themselves. There's a partnership in this depravity. And I totally believe that. Now, do I think it's right that men do this? Of course I don't. I don't think that's right. But I'm coming from a Christian perspective, and the Christian perspective is to cherish women and to see a woman, especially the one that you marry, as valuable and somebody who deserves not just my attention and my affection and my money, but deserves to be on a pedestal, deserves to be protected. As I do with my daughters, I think the same thing. There's nothing out there that protects a woman more than the Christian worldview. There's no higher value. Man, as the Bible says, is to lay his life down for his wife. I know we get hung up on the wife is to submit to the husband, and that's true in some senses. Well, it's true in all senses, but it's also true that we are to, as Christ gave his life for the church, the husband is supposed to give his life for his wife. So I'll leave it there. If you feel so inclined, leave a comment down below, but like, share, and subscribe so I can build this channel up and get some discussions going. I'd like to know what people actually think about this stuff. And am I off base or am I right on point? Well, I'm right on point, but let's see what you think. All right. Have a good one. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.